Complete training is available at itdvds.com.
After our installation reboots, it brings us to this screen where we can choose the first username that will be able to log on to our Windows 7 computer. And we're also going to choose the computer name, and that's going to be the name of the computer as it's seen on our network. So for our username, I'll just go ahead and type in Chuck. And notice it autofills the computer name here with Chuck-PC. Now, a computer name can really be just about anything we want. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link, computer name, and it lets us know what we can do and what we can't do for a computer name. Generally, we want to keep it under 15 characters and make it easily recognizable. We can use letters and numbers, but it cannot be just numbers. So we've got to mix it in. It can be just letters, though. And the only odd character we can use is the hyphen. So we can't use any of these other odd characters. So I'll go ahead and close out of that. And I'm going to call this one, let's see, Desktop 05. And I'll go ahead and click Next. Now we're going to type a password for the user, Chuck. I'll go ahead and type in the password. And I'll just retype it in. And down here we can type a hint that will remind us of our password in case we forget it. I'm not going to type anything specific. I'll just put this is my hint. And I'll go ahead and click Next. Here we can select how much we want to lock down Windows initially. We can use the recommended settings, and if we're not sure what to do, generally we want to use the recommended settings and then loosen it up security-wise if we need to. We can also select Install Important Updates Only. This will only install security updates and other important updates from our Windows Update. Or we can do Ask Me Later, and this basically lets us configure it all later on after this installation is complete. I'm just going to select Install Important Updates Only because we're actually going to look at all the different security settings in later movies. And again, all of this stuff you can configure after the installation, so this isn't your only opportunity to do this. So I'll go ahead and click Install Important Updates. Here we're going to select our time zone. I'll select Arizona and the date and time. We just want to make sure this is correct. I'll go ahead and click Next. Here's where we're going to select where our network is actually located, and this has to do with whether or not it's a trusted network. If it's a home network and it's directly connected to the internet, generally we want to select public network. If we're behind a router, we want to select home network if we're at home, or if we're at work, we want to select work network. This basically has to do with file sharing and things like that and whether or not it's allowed. Because if we're on a public network, we really don't want other people on that public network to be able to see our computer and possibly be able to access shared folders and things like that. So I'm going to select Work Network, and it's going to go ahead and finalize our installation here. And it's going to go ahead and log us in as the user we created, which in our case was Chuck. And that's it. So our Windows 7 installation is complete. We have a clean installation.